all right. Good evening, folks. Matt M. Roy back once again. Shed some light on this situation here. Almost forgot to turn that on before. There we go. How is everyone doing tonight? Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Hope you all can hear me. I am going to try to use the tablet tonight and see if I can actually maybe answer some questions while we're doing this. Let's see. There we go. Of course.
Hi, I'm Scott Kelly, a former NASA astronaut. And
Better turn that down. Check my quality here. I think you guys can hear me all right. Yeah, I'm going to turn the microphone up just a smidge. Let's see if that helps. Yep. Okay. Had to turn the microphone sensitivity up a little bit. All right, so got the tablet going, and I'll try to answer some questions as we go. But so what I'm thinking of doing tonight, or at least I'm going to try, that is, I want to go ahead and show you some of those computers that I picked up, what was it, yesterday? From Virginia Beach. Now, the first one that I was going to show you, unfortunately, I can't because I realized it's missing the cooler, the actual CPU cooler. So we're going to go ahead and we'll start with this one here. And I got my trusty 240 gig PNY SSD here, just in case we decide to do some OS installs. That's the cover that we can put there. So this is the first one. This, I have absolutely no idea what this is. The case is pretty much unbranded, although if I had to guess, judging by the other ones, it's probably a Cooler Master case. It has a Windows 7 sticker on it. I'm not even sure, honestly, what hardware is in this. You can see it has 2 RAM slots that I populated. It is DDR3. PCI Express X16. Looks like we got one of those. I thought there were 2, but this is a regular PCI slot. You know what? Let's go ahead and throw this SSD in because I actually think I do have an install of Windows on here. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this SSD in real quick. Hopefully not going to drop this on my foot. Let's see. Hopefully we got all the right connections. Got SATA right there. I should say SATA data. Where's the SATA power cable? Ah, there's one. These were actually used in a church, for those of you that might be interested. If you saw the vlog the other day, that's actually where I picked these up. And since I have some double-sided sticky tape on there, I'm going to go ahead and just temporarily, ever so lightly, attach it to the top of the optical drive. And does this have a built-in graphics card? It does. So we'll go with the built-in graphics card. I guess I really didn't need to bring out my extra video cards there. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. I'll tell you, we've had a lot of rain in our area. It's been a total washout, to be brutally honest with everybody. And if you're curious, we got the different ports there. We do have some legacy PS2 ports. Looks like we have 6 USB ports on here. That's nice. What is that? Ethernet and then your audio ports. So I'm going to go ahead and plug all this stuff up. Right now I am using a Samsung monitor that I picked up at the thrift store the other day. This is model SyncMaster 2253BW. So this is a 22-inch monitor. I'm not exactly sure if it's a 1080p. It's probably 1680 by 1050. Go ahead and plug you guys in here. And I'm hoping everybody can see this. I think I'll move the monitor up here so you can see it a little bit better. And hopefully we don't have any smoke here. Let's see what mouse I got plugged in. I got the trusty Vibe brand mouse, the e-waste mice that I've been buying from Rose's. Although I must say that these have actually turned out to be pretty decent mice. All right. So what does everybody think? Does everybody think we're going to need to smoke this thing here? I don't know. Let's find out. Eric's Variety Channel says, perfect timing. I just sat back down from hitting the head. LOL. Oh, don't hit it too hard. Knock, knock, knock. We got 3 people watching right now. Awesome. Remember to give me a like if you enjoy these. The quality should improve when I have my friend Bill. Hopefully he can come back and start doing these with me again. Right now I'm filming with the Sony CX2 465, something like that. It's a camcorder because the DSLR is just a little too hard to control when it's just me here. So without further ado, let's see if we get any power here. I'm going to go ahead and push the button. Where is it? Oh, that's a good question. Ah, right here. Well, that's good. We got something coming up. I think we're on the wrong input here. Yep, there we go. Reboot and select proper boot device. So maybe I do not actually have anything installed on this SSD. I thought I did. Let's go into the BIOS real quick. Let me get you guys just a little bit closer. Looks like it's an MSI board. Bring you guys down a little bit. Hopefully y'all can see it. Figure out how to get into the BIOS here. Usually delete F1, F2, something like that. Ah, there we go. Alright, so it does see the SSD right there. If you guys can hopefully see that. Let me see how clear this is. Oh yeah, I think you guys can see that. Let me zoom in a little bit there. Ah, much better. You guys rather see this than my ugly mug anyway. Alright, so let's see what we're rocking processor-wise, if I can even see that. Oh, okay. So this is an AMD A4 APU with HD graphics. Actually, quite a bit newer than I expected. Let's go into the boot menu and see if this is indeed even booting to the SSD. And I could tell right away that the first boot device is not that solid state drive. So we're going to go ahead and change that. Go back to the PNY. And I'm going to save and exit. And let's see if that boots it. If not, then I don't have a installation of Windows on here like I thought I did. Okay, so apparently I don't. So what I'll do in preparation for this, I did bring one of my flash drives, one of my Walmart specials. Incidentally, if you have a Walmart near you, they're clearancing these out for $1 if you still have them. I got the last one at ours. These are 32 gig SanDisk flash drives. Go ahead and plug that in here. and we'll try to do a quick install of Windows. Now I'm going to have to go back into the BIOS, and I'm going to have to select USB boot here, because honestly I don't know what the F key is for the boot sequence. So I'm going to go back in, and let's see, where did we go to boot devices? There we go. We're going to go ahead and switch that back to USB, probably USB hard disk. Let's see if that does the trick. And is everybody seeing me clearly? I know we got 7 people here. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing. Are we going to boot? That is the question. We are not booting. All right, let's see what's going on here. If anybody knows what the actual boot key, F key is for the MSI board, let me know. Usually it's like F8, F9 for most of the systems that I've used in the past. Let's see, let's try F9. Oh, oh, almost. That's weird. You guys see that? The Windows icon came up for just a second, so thinking we might actually have a fault with this board. I'm going to go ahead and switch this to the rear USB port. See if that makes a difference. Put the keyboard down. Well, we just got something that happened there. Let me bring the mouse up. Incidentally, isn't that a cool looking mouse? That RGB mouse right there. I'm telling you, for an e-waste mouse for $3 each, these are actually really decent. Let's go ahead and reboot real quick, because I think it was actually trying to do something there for a minute. Let me check the sound levels real quick. Okay. I think it was actually trying to do something there. Actually sounds really good. My chat window is not working, I don't think. Is anybody there? Let me know if you're there. Alright, I don't think that's working. So, it is so hard to do this. I tell you, if my buddy Bill ever comes back my way, I'm gonna use him to help me do these again, because it is much easier to have somebody read it off to you, especially when the chat window isn't coming. Ah, look at that, folks. We just didn't wait long enough. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out why I lost the chat window. Oh, here we go. Got it. F11, Eric said. Well, I guess we don't really need it now. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to do a basic install. I'm not even going to put the product key in, because I don't think I'm going to be using that SSD drive in there permanently. So we'll just give that a try. George Stewart says, hello, Chris. Chris Garrett, you mentioned in your vlogs people like live streams better. I like them both. Well, I try to do a mixture of both if I can. Incidentally, when you're installing Windows and you don't want to have you don't want to use a product key, Oh man, you guys are kind of overexposed here, aren't you? Let me see what we got. Get you in a little bit closer there. Hopefully y'all can see the video there. Yep, I think you can. Okay. So what you want to do is you just click I don't have a product key. And in this case, I'm just going to click Windows 10 Pro, even though the product key on here is for Windows Home. Since it's not a permanent install, I'm not going to activate it. Doesn't really matter in the long run. Accept the terms. I always do a custom install. Now that's interesting. Apparently I did have a version of Windows installed on this. Why it wasn't booting, I don't know, but we'll go ahead and delete those partitions. And I'll go ahead and just click next, and we'll do a quick install of Windows on here. Mark asks, what Windows operating system does that computer have? It originally shipped with Windows 7, but right now I'm just putting Windows 10 on there just as a test. Chris Garrett goes, okay, I'm here at computers etc i36 just testing because sometimes my comments don't show up on live streams. Yep, you're coming through just fine, Chris. I'm so glad you were able to make it. Holy cow, what a kisser. You crack me up, George, I'm telling you. Yep, Mark, I sure do remember you. All right, let me check video quality here. I don't know why my tablet is not giving me a good quality video. I'm probably doing too much with Wi-Fi right now in my room. So, one thing I wanted to let you guys know, I did wind up getting, I think it was a total of 8 computers from this last haul, and I wound up only getting 6 good ones. 2 of them had bloated caps. One was the HP Pavilion Tower, and the other was that, and I was so disappointed, it was that IBM Think Center that I was so hoping I'd be able to refurbish into like a Windows XP gaming rig. And yes, theoretically I could recap them, but I don't have the right soldering iron because to recap a motherboard, computer motherboard, you actually have to have a very, very high temp soldering iron. Keep an eye on my battery here. That's why I was a few minutes late doing this, folks. I forgot and left the camcorder on, and this particular camcorder, you absolutely cannot keep it charged or charge it while you're using it. It has to run off the battery, which is one reason I really, really want to use my DSLR in the future for some of these videos. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, you guys are getting a good picture there. Chris Garrett goes, by the way, I gave you 2 likes. Don't tell YouTube I cheated. Don't worry, I won't. Mark asks, will this computer make a good music player? I would think so. AMD actually has very good integrated audio, much better than Intel's integrated audio. I've actually learned that from a friend of mine that is in the music industry. AMD usually integrates their own audio circuitry. Basically, I think it actually integrates through the APU, which is basically the CPU, which has the video card, the actual CPU itself, and I could be wrong about that though. I'm not sure if the APUs have the audio chip on the CPU or if it's actually a separate chip, but I know that the AMD systems are much, much better for audio needs. So audio processing, and I think that's why when people in the music industry use PCs versus Macs, they usually go with an AMD rig. Hired Gun says, just a suggestion, go back into the BIOS and set it to USB. Yeah, I did wind up doing that. As a matter of fact, if you watch what's going to happen here in a minute, it's probably going to boot from the flash drive. Let's see. Is it booting from the flash drive? No. If you look here, well, I'm surprised. I'm going to back you guys off just a tad. It's actually booting from the hard drive, if you can see on the computer right now. I'm really surprised about that too. I thought for sure it would boot from the flash drive. So we're starting services. So already, this is actually a better system than I thought it was going to be. I thought most of these were Core 2s, like the one that I was going to show you before. I guess I could pull that out while this is installing. Let's see. Try not to unplug anything here. This is the one that you guys and gals saw in the picture that I wanted to show you because I really like this case. This is like a custom home theater case that they used back in the day. But unfortunately, when I opened it up, I realized if you look right up there, you could see that the CPU cooler is missing, and unfortunately I don't actually have one for a Core 2 Duo. All my extra coolers are for the i-series processors, and they're not compatible with the older Core 2 line, so I'll have to order one online here in the future. Oh, let me move that out of the way. Oh, I think this is actually working out very well. Video quality looks okay. I'm still working on the lighting, folks. It's a little grainy. Move that over just a little bit there. Windows Vista blew the caps. Yeah, I'll bet it did. But funny enough, the era of Vista computers is when they had, and even back as far as XP, is when they had what they called the Capacitor Plague. And the story behind that is actually very interesting. There was a company that back in the early 2000s wanted to get into the capacitor game, and I believe it was Nichicon that they stole the chemical recipe for capacitors, and they started producing them cheaper, hoping to kind of undercut them. Well, what wound up happening was they stole the recipe, but they missed one key ingredient, and that was the stabilizer that stabilized the electrolytes in the capacitors. So that's why those capacitors started to bulge and blow up after a certain period of time, because they they neglected to steal the entire recipe. They missed the stabilizer, which stabilized the electrolytes. So we got 8 viewers. Please make sure you give me a like if you're enjoying this. Oh, we got 9 people here right now. All right, so let me reset this. All right, so we are up. Let's go ahead and give this a proper Windows finish. Well, finishing the install, I should say. Get you guys a little closer. US layout. Don't need a secondary one. Now, I don't have internet over here, so I'm just going to click down here. I don't have internet, which is nice because I'll continue with the limited setup. And that'll actually allow me to just put in a local account, whereas if this was a Windows 10 home, I would actually have to sign into a Microsoft account. So we'll go ahead and just call this test AMD PC. No password. We're going to put no password on this one. And I'm going to disable tailored experience, advertising, and find my device. That's generally what I'll disable because you don't want the advertising. You don't want them tracking you, so you don't really need the advertising or find my device and the tailored experience, although I'll keep location on just so it'll set the date and time. Yeah, we'll go ahead and turn Cortana on since this is not going to be a permanent install. This is a really cool looking case too. Here's your optical drive, an LG Modisc. I used to buy a ton of these when I was doing new PC builds back in the day. Looks like you got a door that originally would have been on here. They probably pulled it off for easy access, but you got multiple USB ports there. You have your front audio ports, and nothing down here, but if you guys could see that, there's actually a spot for a 3.5-inch drive, so maybe something like a memory card reader, or if UXW Bill was doing this, he'd probably say, hey, got to put a floppy drive in that thing. I put 8 gigs of RAM in this, and with that SSD, it should actually still be pretty quick. So after this one, we'll go ahead and take a look at this PC. This is another one of those custom ones. This one, I believe, is also... I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is a Cooler Master case too. You guys can tell me for sure. But this is another one from that same haul. Yeah, just noticing that one doesn't even have a product key on it. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and zoom you in a little bit so you can see what I see here. Maybe later. So we do indeed have an AMD A4 3400 APU running at 2.7 gigahertz and 8 gigs of RAM, although if you look here you only have 7.5 free, and that's because right now I'm running off the integrated video card. Alright, and let's see, because I'm not 100% sure. I'm thinking this is a dual core, so we'll open Task Manager and we'll go in there. Oh yeah, see that 99% CPU usage just sitting here. So yeah, this is a dual core, so 2 cores and 2 logical processors. Does have HD graphics, and let's go in there and see. I'm not even sure what they were using for audio. Hopefully it installed that driver by default. Go into Device Manager here. That was too fast. Come on. There we go. High definition audio device. And if you go in here and you look at processors, you can see that you actually have 2 physical processors. And The only thing it did not install is the video card driver, but I can get that later on if I need to. Let me zoom back out here a little bit. So this is the first system. I would call that a successful install. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to bother installing any more drivers. Let's go ahead and zoom y'all back out here. And I'm going to go ahead and switch this up. Let's see how much higher I need to get here. Pull you back out a little bit. There we go. Let me answer a couple of questions here. Wow, yeah, Chris, seems like he's really, really, he wouldn't even give you a keyboard. Wow. Yeah, that's actually a 10-year-old processor now, believe it or not. All right, so let's go ahead and switch this up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pull the SSD out of here. Move that over so you can see a little bit. Hopefully it didn't permanently affix itself. Nope. Oh yeah, look at all that stickiness there. Ugh. Tell you, that double-sided sticky tape of the Super Glue Corporation really does the trick. Dollar Tree, you get a whole bunch of it for $1. I mean, a whole ream of that stuff. So move that over to the side, and we'll pull this one out. Once again, I'm not exactly sure what processor is in this computer. This is another custom case. Well, I can tell you it's not an AMD because looking inside, through the grill, I can already see the Intel logo. So we definitely have some type of Intel CPU here. Gee, I think I would have taken the cover off first. Okay, and this one actually already has some memory in it, and a video card. This has a 535 watt, 80 plus certified bronze power supply. Wow. You know, folks, that's worth $50 easy right there. So that plus a monitors pays for all the computers that I got that day. Really, really amazing. So that's nice to see. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw that SSD in there. Should be able to boot off of it. I hopefully won't need to reinstall the operating system. I don't think so. It's late, so it takes me a minute here to get situated. Is that? Yep, that's a SATA. Is that a SATA? All right, and again, just for the sake of time here, you know what we'll do, folks? A lot of people will do this temporarily. We'll just go ahead and put it right here. We'll put it right here on the hard drive tray. How about that? Just keep her right there. All right, let's plug it in and see what we got. Incidentally, I'll show you the ports real quick. We have 2 USB ports on the front. We have a dual-layer DVD burner. In this case, it's an Asus brand. So I kind of wonder if maybe this is an Asus case. Get you in a little bit closer again. Try to get a good angle here. There we go. Again, 2 USB ports, power button, reset. There's your DVD burner. Nothing else on the front there. Inside, the case is pretty well populated. All the memory sticks are populated. The one thing I just noticed, that's not going to work because the SATA cable is not plugged into anything. I think when he was, oh yes it is. Yes it is. The SATA cables are over here, so that should be fine. I'm not sure which is the number 1 cable, so we'll go ahead and just plug that back in for now. One of them was plugged into the CD drive, which is not plugged in right now, but that's fine because we don't actually need that. So looking at the ports on the back here, combo legacy port, so combo PS2 port, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 USB ports. In this case, we're getting 2 USB 3 ports. We got onboard DVI and VGA, Ethernet, and then your various audio ports there. How do you like that, folks? Full range. Anybody have any clue what that might mean on the power supply? Honestly, I don't. So, go ahead and zoom you back out a little bit. Let's go ahead and plug her up. Let's see what this does. Once again, I shouldn't need to install Windows. I should be able to use the SSD that came with it. Or it came with it. Man, I can't talk tonight, folks. I should be able to use the SSD we just installed Windows on. And let's see what she does. Well, that's good. And okay. Well, I could tell you that the fans are spinning up and spinning down, so that's not a good sign. Yep, we definitely have a problem here, folks. We'll give it a minute. Maybe they may have done a CPU upgrade on this, so we'll give it a minute, see if it does anything. Hey, Dabbler's Buffet, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in one of these in a while. Okay, so we definitely got something going on here. This is just power cycling constantly. And I can hear a clicking, so I'm wondering if something is not connected. Let me look in here real quick. When they pulled the hard drive, they might have disconnected something important. Well, I can see that the 6-pin connector is in there. I can see that the 24-pin connector is good. Is that supposed to be plugged in? It seems to me there's something missing on the power supply here. Let's see. No, that's just an add-on. Tell you what, folks, I am going to reseat the memory just in case that's causing the problem. That's the first thing you want to do when with my experience. Sometimes the memory sticks just get loose over time, and that can actually cause a lot of problems, not only with booting but with powering on. Incidentally, these are 2 gig sticks of Crucial PC1066. Don't know if the camera is going to focus on that, but there you go. Check all my connections here. CPU cooler seems to be plugged in all right. Well, everything looks to be plugged in, so let's give her one more try. I'm going to go ahead and turn the power back on. Push power again. And she is doing the same thing. Yeah, she is not happy. She is just constantly power cycling. So there is something going on with this computer. which I don't know if we're going to be able to diagnose it here because I'm noticing my my battery is dying quickly. So we'll give this a couple of more minutes. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. So I'm looking to see if there's anything in here that looks off to me, like maybe something got disconnected, but everything looks good. I am thinking that this may actually be a case of a bad power supply. See, that's, okay, so that's plugged into there. Here's your 6-pin, or in this case, 2 4-pin connectors that go into the 6-pin. Now, it wouldn't be a bad idea to try to reseat these, just in case. Because they didn't really feel like they were in there all that well. That's your 6-pin right back there. And I'm going to do the same thing with this 24-pin, which I'm already noticing looks like it's kind of janked up. Is that a word, janked up? Nope, that's in there well too. And then you got this mess here. I have no idea what they're doing here. Okay. That's for this front fan, which was spinning up, so I doubt that's the problem. Ah! I think I know what the issue is, or at least part of it. I didn't realize that there was an onboard graphics card there, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that might be our problem. So let me go ahead and take my trusty Lidl branded Parkside electric screwdriver. Let's go ahead and pop that out. I can already tell I think this is a GeForce GT710. It's not marked, but I'm very familiar with the layout of these cards. I would say for almost 100% sure that's a GT710. So pull that card out. Now let's go ahead and try to power it up. Let's see if that makes any difference. It may not, but I just have a hunch. And nope, we are getting the same thing. So I'm thinking we either have a motherboard issue or a CPU issue. But unfortunately, I am not going to be able to diagnose this one any further because I just don't have the time tonight, folks. Next time, I'll make sure I charge the battery up on here more thoroughly. I left it on. That was all on me. It's not you. But I'm going to go ahead and move this over here real quick and kind of clean up my wires here. Now you're going to have to look at my face. That's right. Now you're going to have to look at my face a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and do a short Q&A. So let me try to answer some of the questions that have popped up here. Are those 2 PCI Express X16 slots on the motherboard? I believe so. I know, well, let me see. Yes, I could see that right off the bat. So yeah, those are definitely 2 X16 slots. Mark Covington said he thinks it's a motherboard issue. It very well could be. You know, when you have a system that power cycles like that, it can be a lot of different things. If I had to venture a guess, I would say it's probably a motherboard issue. The only other thing I'm thinking it could be too, I would not be surprised if they pull the CPU out. If you don't have a CPU in the computer, it'll power cycle like that too. Eric goes, tomorrow I'll be filming the final upgrades on that dumpster dive HP as well as the conclusion of the riding mower. Nice. I'll try to make sure I see it. I don't make promises because if I made a promise that I'd watch everybody's videos, I never get anything else done. See, incidentally, we have 10 viewers and no other chats right now. All right, everybody, I'm going to end it here because my battery's dying. We'll definitely do another one of these because I like the way this camera functions. And even though it's not ideal, I really like to be filming more with my DSLR. This is a good second. So hope everybody enjoyed this. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always,